So this is a big occurrence. This is an occurrence that I think is happening more so with the younger generation, my generation, even younger. I'm 27 years old. You might feel the exact way what I'm about to describe, but as generations are getting younger, more and more adults, young adults at that, are quitting their jobs more often and they're bouncing around more than our parents, more than our grandparents. Like when our parents, grandparents, great grandparents, whatever, when they were young, they typically had one job their entire life. Like my mom, she worked in a post office. She had one job prior to the post office, but she worked in a post office probably by the time she was 25 to now. She's 50. She's about to be 50, 55 this year. So she's worked that job her entire life, and I feel like that's a common thing. That's a common reality for those who are of the older generations. But I feel like now it's more a common practice for younger people like myself. You might be a young individual in your 20s, 30s, or maybe you're a teenager, or maybe you're a college student watching this. I don't know, trying to look for a career path. But it's more of a it's okay to bounce around and quit your jobs. I feel like when my mom, my grandma were young, my grandma worked in a factory her entire life. I feel like when they were younger, it's all right, you got to do this, and you're doing this for the rest of your life, and that's that. And if you don't like it, you don't like it, you're just going to do it. But you could say, because like my grandma came here from DR, immigrant, she came over here, she did what she needed to do. There was only factory work. She can't speak English. She speaks broken English. So she did what she needed to do. That could be a reason why she could only get factory work. Maybe that's why she had to only do that type of job her entire life. But nowadays, right? I'm 27. I've worked since graduating college. I thought I wanted to work in finance, or I did work in finance, got my degree in finance. I was working at one company, wealth management, dealing with financial advisors. Then I quit. I worked at a pizzeria for a little bit. I quit that. Then I worked for the Yankees for a little bit selling tickets. Then I quit that. Then I had a remote job where I dealt with cryptocurrencies. I did that for a little bit. Quit that. I worked in a casino, like doing the rewards, memberships. Quit that. And especially if you're in 20s, right? I feel like it's okay to quit your job, especially in your 20s, because if you have a career, or you're in a job or career, right, that you don't fully enjoy or you don't find meaning in the work, I feel like we should all have some sort of meaning in whatever we do in our day to day, because you're there a majority of your life you're working. So I feel like you should have some sort of fulfillment in what you're doing every day. If you're clocking in to your career, you should at least enjoy it a little bit, not be miserable. So I feel like nowadays, kids are like, all right, maybe this path, maybe being a nurse is not for me. Let me jump into the finance route. Or maybe like me, maybe finance isn't for me, even though it's so broad. Let me jump into the sales route, the marketing route. We have more options nowadays, now that there's obviously technology. You can work remote, the internet, you got all that shit. So we have more options available to us. And it's just, I don't know if you're on LinkedIn, but if you go on LinkedIn, go on someone's profile, you can see that person had, more often than not, they worked at a place for a year. Okay. Then the next place for a year. Okay. Another place for maybe 2 years. But each time they're leveling it up. And especially if you're in your 20s, that's when you could fuck up and pick and choose. Because if you're there at your job 8 hours a day, I don't know about you personally, but I know for me, I want to do something where I'm excited to go to do. I know it's obviously work. You're not there to bullshit and have fun. but at least make it somewhat enjoyable in the sense that you feel like you're doing something that's meaningful in this world. It doesn't feel like you're just a cog in a machine. It feels like your work, you're fulfilled in what you're doing and what your day-to-day tasks are. I feel like that is more common practice now. And finding meaningful work, at least for me, is something that I'm still trying to find. I'm still trying to look for, I guess you could say. And I think I'm still young enough to consider those multiple jobs, those multiple career paths. And I haven't thought about going back to school. So if you're a person similar to me, similar to my thinking of bouncing around a little bit, just know it's okay, because I'd say more often than not, a lot of people are in similar situations where they're just trying to figure it out. They're trying to figure out what they really want to do in life. They want to figure out maybe this is not for me. Like, it's okay to be like, nah. It's okay to dip up out of your job or your career or whatever, your major, and be like, man, maybe this is not really for me. Like, that's okay. It's more okay now than it was for our parents, grandparents. Like, it's okay to bounce around a little bit. And I'll leave you with this one thing. If you are considering, like, if you're just bouncing around, each job that you've had in your portfolio of jobs, careers, take a skill that you learned and add it to your book of just like your book of skills, for lack of a better term. But you should take something in every job that you have, every career. You should leave with something. You should leave with, whether it be I'm better at public speaking, whether it be I'm better at sales. I took my sales experience from retail. I took my analytical experience from finance. I took my public speaking experience from working at a casino. I took, you know what I'm saying? Take whatever your job is, your career is, or let me stop saying career, but whatever your job is at the time, be like, what can I really take from this? Maybe it's not for you, but in every path you take, there's always something you could take from that. There's always something, some skill. Speaking, communication, organization, there's something. Maybe the actual path you're on, maybe it's not for you, but there's always something you could take from that. So I'll leave you guys with that. If you're in a similar boat, if you feel like you're lost in life, if you feel like, especially like job-wise, or just life, because your job isn't your life, but it's a majority of what you do. But if you feel like you're lost, especially if you're young, like, it's all right. Even if you're older, man, it's cool, because you're here on this planet once. So my mindset is, don't be stuck doing something you fucking hate. Like, if you rather make less money and do something you enjoy a little bit at least, then I would say go that route. But who am I to say? I'm still trying to figure it out myself. So I'll leave you with that, and peace.